Hey guys, I am on now. Gonna post this and we'll be good to go. All right. I'm just waiting for Osci actually to give me a call on Discord. Meanwhile, I will work on my team assist polish doc. Hey Braces, how's it going? Just waiting for, hey Cicero, just waiting for Antan Dogs. Shout all you guys out. Thanks for tuning in. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm working on so you can get a taste of the polish changes I've got documented here. Glad to hear. Let's see. By the way, if you're just joining, I'm waiting for El Scorchy to Discord call me, and we're gonna do an interview on his video, on the subject of his video, actually, which will be great. I have no idea what he's gonna ask me. I haven't gotten any kind of prep whatsoever, so that'll be pretty neat. Yeah, you know what I want to ask him, Milotic, is why did he use the footage of, like, the old Icons footage? Like, everyone does that. They go, oh, Icons failed, and then they find the trailer video because we've delisted that video. You can't find the official trailer from us, so everyone has to go to the other trailer footage. But it sucks, because if people look up Icons trailer, they're going to find that. It's annoying, but it's like, you could have used more recent footage, you know? Let's see. Looks like he's gonna give me a call now, so we'll do this. Hopefully this doesn't ruin our thing.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I see your thingy go green, but I can't hear you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Where are my audio settings here?
Can you guys hear him?
I'll put the
I got a chat.
Oh, there we go. Gotcha.
Nice.
Now I can hear you.
Can you guys?
Hey man, how are you?
Good. Awesome.
All right.
Do you want to do a video chat too, or no?
Yeah, I'll add you. Let me turn on my camera. I don't know if this is going to mess everything up on my computer or not with OBS.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to mess up my OBS either.
Yeah, right? Let's try it. Worst case scenario, I don't know. We just start over.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't seem to be
the
working.
volume controls? I'm just going to turn you down manually through Discord.
Yeah. There we go. My video doesn't seem to be working. But,
mine neither.
All right. Might have to be audio only because I don't know how to work this. Oh, I think I would probably have to turn off the camera on my OBS and then screen capture from Discord. That sounds like that'll work.
Yeah, that might work actually. I will do the same thing here. Turn off my camera.
See. Hide that.
What's interesting is that it says my camera's still on, even though OBS is not.
I don't know if that's gonna work actually. The harsh realities of being a content creator, yeah, Protoman. It's basically IT support. A lot of it. A lot of trying to figure out why stuff is not working. All right, I think.
Yo, so here's what you do. If you go to your go to your OBS,
right,
and then go to your sources for camera,
right,
double click it and hit deactivate.
Oh, you're gonna like straight up just kill it. All right, and then I'm gonna come here, and I'm going to turn on camera. Oh, dude, you're a genius. Look at that.
It worked, man.
Look at that stuff. All right, but now I can't screen capture my own camera. I can only see your video. Oh man. Okay, hold on. How would I screen capture my own video here? Because now, how do you are putting your own camera to your OBS?
It's a good question. They don't let you do like two people at once, but
yeah. All right. For now, I guess. Okay. So I'll have to, unfortunately, unshare my camera. And then I can screen capture you into my stream if that's okay.
That works for me. I'm also streaming, by the way. But my viewers will just have your Sans icon to look at.
Oh, perfect! I love that icon, so that's great. All right, so actually, let me wait. I don't want to do that.
I'm also looking at my chat here. Let me see.
Yeah. If you guys want to see, I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I don't know if you guys want to point them to this stream too, so they can get like the whole video experience.
Yeah, if you want to chat, if you want to text your link, I can have my folks go to yours. Yeah,
that's Twitch.tv. I'm typing it right now.
So my chat's like, oh my gosh, is Chris gonna break the NDA? I'm not gonna break the NDA. This guy's streaming publicly, so I'm only gonna be sharing. We're going to be talking about icons, and we'll be talking about whatever is public. And then once I'm done with his stream, I'm actually going to go back to our private NDA-only content. We'll be talking about all kinds of other stuff. So whatever my chat's asking me about, guys, I'll only be able to comment on public stuff because I'm being recorded right now and broadcasted.
Yes.
So what happened? I can't... You know what's funny is I can now see me and you.
What?
Yeah, what you need to do is if you turn on your camera again, you go back into Discord, and then if you just double tap, if you double click it, it will show both of us. But you're going to have to disable your camera again and do all of that.
Yo, what's up, Grander Cicero? Welcome to the stream.
That's one of my homies.
Oh, there we go. That's awesome.
All right, here's the link, guys. You guys see it? I'm posting it in chat.
I'm trying to figure out OBS here, but it seems like
you got to deactivate it on OBS, go into Discord, turn on your camera, turn it off, turn it on, and then double click the screen and it will show both of us. That's what I've got.
Oh man, genius! Holy moly, that was hard enough.
These things need
That
an
was
instruction
hard enough.
manual, man. I was just clicking around and I got it to work eventually.
That was hard enough. Okay, so now let's actually add
I got a
Discord as a
light
window
above my
capture
head, and
here.
I'm like, my lighting's all messed up. I don't have my pro streamer lighting set up like you do. You're beautifully well lit. I'm like here in the shadows.
It's all right. Oh man, my now now it's not working to capture Discord. Are you kidding me? Let me.
That's not much better.
Yeah. I assure you that he has more lighting than that. It's not a blank. It's not a black screen. There's much more lighting than that. Window capture. I'm just gonna have to capture my entire desktop, I guess.
If you do, you can. So I can also troubleshoot this for you. If you go to your Discord settings and you go to Appearance, which is towards the bottom, right above Streamer Mode.
Yeah. Streamer mode enabled.
No, above Streamer Mode.
Oh, got it.
Under Appearance. So you go into Appearance and you scroll down to Advanced and you go to Hardware Acceleration. You turn it off. You'll have to reboot your Discord, but then you'll be able to record it on OBS.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Let me call you back in a bit then.
All right. See you in a second.
Right. Sorry about that.
I'm your tech support, man.
Oh, perfect.
All right. So he's gone. Now we can talk about secret stuff again.
Sure of it. I'm certain. So let's say this. Can I make this Discord now? Oh, it is working.
Ooh, I realized I can still share secrets with my chat if I type with them because you guys can't see that.
Beauty. And let me just crop it a bit here so that no one's information gets leaked or anything. Oh no, my people can see my servers. Oh no. Awesome. Okay, then I'm just gonna make this real big. We fixed it. Let me see your pogs in the chat.
I get all the credit for it though. Gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I did like three IT fixes for you on this stream.
all credit goes to Chris here. All right. Okay. Let me now pause my Spotify and all that. Perfect. All right. Sorry about that. First of all, I want to thank Chris for joining us. Welcome you to the channel. First of all, I did a little bit of an intro before you joined in. You used to work with Icons Combat Arena, and I just wanted to, if you want to introduce yourself, get a little bit more background of your career, where you come from, and then we can start talking about like the video, what you thought of it, and kind of start breaking everything down and then kind of relate it back to your experience with Icons.
Yeah, so a bit of background about me. I've been a lifelong gamer and super passionate about the Warcraft series. When Warcraft came out, StarCraft, that's what like first got me into like hardcore gaming rather than just being like a Zelda player and Mario player. Got really into World of Warcraft. Then when I started working, I worked in finance, so I went to go work on like Wall Street, and I was, an investment banker. There are two types of people on Wall Street: people who are like buying and selling stocks all the time, and then there's other people who are basically quote unquote deal makers and helping companies raise a bunch of debt or IPO or whatever. And so that's what I did for a few years. Then I went to go work in investing, which is kind of like a natural step after that. All the while, I felt kind of robbed of my soul, and I wanted to do more and more in gaming. I actually started a meetup group in New York City called Community Gaming that now is in LA, Chicago, and Boston and New York, and we do like weekly meetups for different games. We actually just did a Smash one last Saturday. We had 85 people show up at this great venue in Chinatown called Operating System New York, so I'll shout them out too. And the way I got connected to Wavedash and Icons was when I was an investor. Your job is basically like, hey, let's bet on stuff, and hopefully it does well. The problem with video games is they're so hit driven that, meaning like you design it, you've got great people, you've got great ideas, and people can just hate it. It doesn't do well necessarily. And so one of my challenges to solve was, how can I come up with an idea that's quote unquote safe for people to invest in? And if you see what's happening in video games today, everyone's trying to make sequels to stuff. So like sequels are like the safest thing you can do, because you're like, oh, I know I've got fans, they like my game. I know that some people
there's a proven market.
yeah, there's a proven market for it. I know that what certain people didn't like about my game, and I own all of the assets, like the tech stuff, the 3D models, everything, very, very cheap, very safe to make a sequel from that game to another title. Now, as an investor, you can't invest in sequels, so what I thought was, hey, look, this was back in like 2015, 2016. I was saying, all of the top games were based on mods. League of Legends, Dota 2. Fast forward to now, it's proved with H1Z1 Battle Royales, Teamfight Tactics being based on mods as well. And I found this mod called Project M. And I reached out to the team. I said, hey, I assume you guys are working on something already. And I worked for, Richard Branson at the time, who's,
I can help you get investments.
Yeah, I can help you guys get investments. And they were like, actually, we have no idea. We're not doing anything like that. We're just modders. We're doing our own thing. But, if someone comes up to us with the same idea, we'll put you guys together. And fast forward a couple weeks, they had the founders of Wavedash reached out to them, Matt and Jason, and they were like, hey, you guys are gaming executives. Chris, you're like this money guy. You guys should meet. And so I became the first money into Wavedash, actually personally, because my Richard Branson was like, hey, this is too early stage. I'm not ready to back it yet. So I became a board member of that company, helped them raise $6 million that was publicly disclosed, additional financing that wasn't disclosed, help them bring it to market. And when you're on a board, you like help them make strategic decisions. So I was very involved there. And throughout Icon's life and death, I actually got involved in entrepreneurship. I left my investing gig, and so I work in tech. I actually now run my own game studio, hoping to, and also a fighting game, hoping to learn from Icons and my collective experience. So long bio, but hopefully good information.
No, but it's good because now like you can tell that you have a lot of background, not only in not just video games, but like actually like running companies and investing in companies and like more the business / financial side of things, which is pretty good, especially if we're gonna talk about some of the things that we'll be talking about, which I feel like when I put this kind of videos together, and you might have noticed in the video that I put, I try to like dumb it down as much, not dumb it down, but simplify it enough so like. I personally went to business school, so you don't want to like.
You can be my translator. I hear I'm too jargony from my own.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes.
So like when I put this kind of videos together, it's almost like I'm trying to give like a low key business lesson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to have someone to talk about that comes from that background too, so we can get kind of like geeky about it. But at the same time, if we're talking about something that I think like, oh, maybe the audience won't understand, we can kind of deal with that too. Cool. So you watched the video, you did a reaction, which I saw, but I know that that's not shareable, but we can talk about a couple of those points. I do have a couple of follow-up questions and things that I wanted to run through you and see and see how you saw those, because I also read the comments on Reddit and YouTube comments and everything. And I was like, oh, there's definitely things that I personally want to follow up on and kind of untangle some of those issues there.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, what do you think of the video in the sense of the points that it hits, and then we can kind of take it from there. I want to pick your brain on it and those topics of like, why isn't there another platform fighter that's as big as Smash apparently? And what's the deal with that?
I thought that you covered it really well. IP is a very big point. The fact that Nintendo has, their game assets, all the models of all the characters, also makes it very easy for them to update it, time and time again, and they've accumulated that base, which is something you didn't actually speak on, directly. You talked about experience, but
Yeah.
much more impactful than the experience is the fact that they've accumulated, hundreds of millions of dollars of game budgets that have now stacked on top of each other. That makes it that much harder for a new guy to just come in and make something just as good. I thought that the mainstream appeal was probably the most salient point. I actually wrote a blog post on a similar subject titled like how to make a game people will actually play, and it comes down to basically mainstream appeal. You need to have something that will resonate to people who don't normally play kind of hardcore games, as it were.
Right, right. Which I still think it's, to this day, I see so many platform fighter games make that mistake. We want to be Smash, but X. Like, but so I feel like, and not only that, when they launch the game, there's no, nothing similar to Subspace Emissary, Spirit Mode, or anything like that. That's really gonna keep, Jimmy the 8-year-old coming back and playing the game.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't have to be single player content, though. It just has to be something
that's fun.
Will be fun for people to pick up and play with no experience of the game.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you. One point that you really brought up that I wanted to pick your brain on and see where you lead. So you did talk about Brawlhalla a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some comments talking about Brawlhalla and, that famous 15 million installs number that's being tossed around, which I actually kind of do think that number, it really needs to be broken down to truly understand how that actually matches Smash Brothers. But I wanted to kind of hear from you in the sense, like, do you truly believe that Brawlhalla is doing a good job at competing with Smash Brothers, like, right now, in general?
I think that's an interesting question to ask because I don't think that they think of it like that. I don't think that Brawlhalla thinks about, are we competing with Smash? I don't think that, for my fighting game that's also going to be, platform fighter-esque, I wouldn't be thinking about it, am I competing with Smash? But, if you ask the question, I would say, I would maybe tweak it a little bit and say, do I think that Brawlhalla is a good fighting game? And is a successful fighting game? I think that, I have a couple of tenets for, what makes a good fighting game a good fighting game. The most important one is, do they have diverse options? Do you feel like there's a bunch of different strategies for how you can play that game? And I think it has that, but it does lack depth because of the character movesets being very limited compared to Smash. So, yes, it does have options, but it doesn't have as many. But also, by having less things to learn, it becomes more accessible, right? And so, what I think Brawlhalla does better than Smash is a party game or casual game. I think it actually does that better than Smash. Because Smash, it costs $50 to get. And so, if you're kind of casually lukewarm interested in playing this thing, the first decision you have to make is, do I want to pay $50 or not for this? And Brawlhalla, you don't have that.
Do I even want to get a Switch, first of all?
Well, that too, yeah. Do I want to buy a Switch? But if you have a Switch, let's say, then the next decision is, okay, do I want to play this enough to put $50 down? Brawlhalla being free to play does not have to worry about that. The fact that it's they've got WWE characters in it and such makes it much more quote unquote mainstream in that respect. I think that certainly it is not as competitive. It's not as deep. That's why the tournament numbers weren't there. But if you just look at players, they've got 15 million versus Smash, 14 million. Technically, it's a bigger game, but because it's free, so it's not an apples to apples comparison. So it is not fair to say it's a more dedicated fan base. It's not fair to say that it's a more competitive game. I don't think it's fair to say that there are more people playing Brawlhalla now at this very moment than there are Smash. I don't know that number. I couldn't opine either way, but definitely it has more people playing it, more installs than Smash does.
Yeah, that's something that I was actually racking my brain about it today and kind of making running the numbers because I'm glad that you brought that up. Like it's like comparing apples to apples in a way. Sorry, not comparing apples to you're comparing apples to oranges because um, what I was thinking about is like yes, people are talking about like 15 million versus 13 million, but 15 million installs for a free to play game, and then I want to kind of pick your brain about how that applies to whatever happened to icons because I'm not fully aware of the history behind it. Um, However, 50 million installs when you're putting out a free to play game, and I'm now going back to the business side, it doesn't matter. What matters is because once you have those 15 million people, you still haven't monetized a single one of them, and it costs money to put to put your game up in the digital storefronts anyway. So you already paid to have access, just to have access to this audience, and then what really matters is your active users, monthly, daily active users, and what percentage of those you're actually monetizing at what rate, right? So there's this Steam charts tool that seems to say that all-time peak on the daily active users for Brawlhalla, it's 15,000 players, which is like 0.01% of the entire install base. So just because I was racking my brain about it today. So if I were someone at Brawlhalla and I'm talking to the big investors or Ubisoft in this case, and I'm like, hey man, we have 15 million installs, and they're like, okay, that's good. How many active users do you have? Well, like 10K a day. That's what we're averaging right now. Okay, and how many of those are you actually monetizing, right? How many of those are actually buying skins or characters? I don't know what the microtransactions are in Brawlhalla because I don't play it. But maybe I'm gonna assume a safe assumption, probably, even not even safe, but like very grandiose assumption is gonna be like 20% of that are buying microtransactions. Let's assume it's probably way less than that. So if you're really making, that could be what, like 2,000 people a day or a month are actually buying stuff off the store. And then based on those numbers, if you have a team of at least, let's be conservative and say 12 people on staff that only work on Brawlhalla, from artists to developers to project leads to everything, then because it's 12 of them, average salary could be around 50K. I'm just gonna assume no benefits counted or anything like that. You have to make at least 50K a month out of those 2,000 players to keep the game running at a profit. That's without overhead costs or the 20K pot bonuses that are putting out every month for these majors. And it really made me think that it's probably safe to assume that Brawlhalla could potentially either be running at a very tight profit or just at a loss right now. With the promise of eventually blowing up that active user base and actually gain a bunch of that money back. Would you think that gut feeling is misguided, or do you think that's accurate based on working on free to play games before?
I think that with my experience in free to play and also kind of analyzing Brawlhalla maybe a little bit closer than you have, that's not an incorrect thing to look at. I think what Brawlhalla did that is interesting, what you bring up, is when you become a player of a free to play game, you're not a payer, you're just a player. And so now you, as a video game company, you have the obligation to basically keep those people entertained until they decide to spend. And the challenge with that is it costs money to continually put out new content to keep them engaged, keep them stimulated, and hopefully, fingers crossed this time, this new update, this new character, this new whatever it is, battle pass, they'll buy it, right? So what Brawlhalla tried to do was, again, go very casual. They made their game free to play. They made it a lot more accessible, a lot simpler. They made the graphics very cartoony, again, very accessible. And from a free to play model, League of Legends was kind of the best example at the time that Brawlhalla came out. And League of Legends monetization model was, we're going to release a champion every month, right? And that's why they have like 5 million champions now in that game, because that's how they make their money.
Today they announced 6 million daily active users, which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible, for PC, that's an insane number.
Yeah. So I think actually that Brawlhalla might be as many as 500 to 700,000 daily active users. I know you said that they've got 10,000 concurrents, but
Yeah,
that's at any given second. At any given
right. That's true.
second, they've got 10,000 users. And those people are constantly logging in, logging out, changing minute to minute. And so, what I would actually estimate is that, anywhere from 80 to 70 times that is their daily active users. If you just look at it like there's 3,600
Yeah,
seconds, or whatever it is. There's, let's see, 60 seconds in a minute, 3,600 seconds in an hour. Multiply that by 24, so you've got a lot of seconds in a day. So just multiplying the per second active users by 80 is not actually that much. But you
yeah,
still get to like a couple 100,000 users, and then the metric that you get to typically for a free to play game is $3 to $5 per user per year.
yeah. Like
So
as a goal, or usually that's what you usually get.
so like Fortnite probably makes more than $5 per user per year.
Yeah,
So they've got like 800 million players. So 800 million times 5 is 4 billion. They made $3.5 billion of profit. So those numbers kind of line up, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So Brawlhalla's model for monetizing, though, for League of Legends, right? If I'm a dev studio and I want to make a new character in League of Legends, I need to get a character modeler to make that character. I need animation, I need VFX, I need game designers to design that character. All in, a single character, if I want to rush it, could probably take me 1 month
Yeah,
with those 5 people. And so that's like 50 grand to
yeah,
make that character. And it's not that expensive, relatively speaking, in the context of game development. A fighting
yeah,
game character for Icons, for example, which was like a Smash-like game, one of those characters doesn't have 4 animations for 4 abilities. They have like 60, 70 animations. They're a much
yeah,
higher fidelity model. They're much bigger. Their animations are much more complicated. There's way more VFX, SFX, etc. And so
yeah,
you're looking at anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 for a single Smash quality character, maybe
yeah.
even more. And so if you look at Smash having 80 characters, that right there is like it's a $40 million game.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I was making the numbers on like revenue for Smash because the number that people are comparing is like the $13 million for 13 million copies for Smash, but that's gonna be put a little bit into context, right? In the sense that this is 13 million for the first 4 months. That's the figure that we know so far, only for the first 4 months of the game being out. So comparing that to 3 months, 3 years of Brawlhalla versus 4 months of Ultimate, and also those are not just installs; those are like monetized users. Every single person out of those 13 million paid $50 to $60 for that game because those games never go on sale,
Right,
right?
right.
And that's a struggle. Did you find that? And I want to kind of go back and relate it to Icons in a bit, but it goes beyond that. So that means that the game already, just out of sales alone in the first 4 months, got to like 780 million in revenue, probably. Plus that doesn't count people who signed up to the online, $20 a year, and got the DLC pass, $25. So like, if I had to guess, the game
Smash
is
made a
probably
billion
already
dollars for sure.
already past a
Yeah,
billion,
for sure,
easy.
for sure. And the
Um,
thing about Brawlhalla is when they made that game, they wanted to make their characters not cost $300,000 to $500,000 a pop. That's too expensive.
exactly.
So they made really simple character models that they could churn out every single
Yeah.
month. And
They'll
so
have the
their
same
their
moves.
characters, they wanted them to cost 50,000 or less. And so when they made their characters, they're very simple, frankly. And so it's not like League where I have a $50,000 character and he's completely different from everyone else in the cast. In
Yeah.
Brawlhalla, the characters are very, very similar. And
Yeah.
so the motive for me as a player to want to buy the new Brawlhalla character who's very similar to all of the other Brawlhalla characters very low. And so I think that they were monetizing at less than $1 per user. And so let's just say that Brawlhalla has, what I say, 700,000 daily users. Let's multiply that. Let's say that that's roughly 8 times that per month. So let's say 5 million monthly active users. And if they're making less than $1 per monthly active user per year, let's say, that's $5 million that they were making. Yeah. Now, that's amazing. You're like, holy shit, if I had $5 million, that'd be amazing. But remember, they're spending a bunch of money on dev and stuff. They're probably spending $2 to $3 million. Yeah, they're probably spending $2 to $3 million a year at least on their game, at least. So they were probably barely making a profit. And then Ubisoft bought them. Whenever someone buys another company, it's because they think that they can do what the company that they bought was doing better. And what Ubisoft said was, listen, we've got all this IP. We've got Assassin's Creed. We've got, WWE relationships. Yes, the character movesets are similar, but if we attach IP onto it, then people will want those characters and they'll be more likely to monetize.
And that was a big boost for the game. Like, if you go into the Steam
huge
boost. Shot up on
huge boost
active users,
right? And again, IP helps, mainstream appeal helps, and so they are helping Brawlhalla in that way. So,
do you feel when you were? I mean, feel free to talk about how as comfortable as you are discussing this. Feel free to go as in depth as you're comfortable. But did you feel that when you guys were working on Icons, that you ran into that struggle of like, hey, we have a lot of users, a lot of installs, for example, but maybe they're not either converting into active users, or maybe we're not monetizing them yet? Or was Icon still in a pre-profit, pre-revenue stage where it's like, we just care about creating users right now, let's worry about monetization later?
I actually wish that in hindsight we went to what you just described, where we were just focused on growing the community and not focused on monetization, because our community was actually monetizing very high above average. I think that we had, $15 per user.
Wow, that is incredibly high.
Yeah, very, very high. But the problem was that our player base was extremely small.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember how I learned about Icons is because you guys basically sponsored one of the Smash Summits.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that, did you find it, because I saw this in I saw you talk about this on your video, on your reaction. Like, do you find it worth advertising in these tournaments? Like, what was your experience? Do you think that, if you could go back and say like, okay, let's hop on the time machine. I have this X budget, the same budget that I had for marketing for Icons Arena again. Do we spend it the same way? Do I spend it elsewhere? What was the lesson learned there?
I think that there was not. I think you're talking about like spending, and then when I think about it, I think about like buckets. Like, did we underinvest in marketing? No. Did we underinvest in the game? No. Did we underinvest in art and such? I don't think we did either. I think that the problems that we had were more so about monetization. I think that our problems were creative problems rather than kind of like spending bucket problems, if that makes sense.
Like, there was not a clear
direction. There were strategy issues where we were trying to do stuff that in hindsight we realized was the wrong strategy to have. So the reason why our ARPU was so high, our average revenue per user was so high, was because we had a very, very hardcore base of players. You talked in your video about you don't want to appeal to hardcore players. That's all that they did. And so they had a lot of very hardcore players who were willing to buy, founder packs and community packs that were, $25 or more. And that's why it was so high. But basically, they didn't break. I think their all-time concurrent users was like 900 people, right? So it was very small.
Yeah. No, I remember that No, yeah, sorry, because I did bring that up in the video, and like, it's pretty
And just
simple
to
in the
be
sense that
clear, like icons, this isn't a number that's been made public before, but icons in total made like less than $50,000
revenue or
revenue.
profit.
Revenue
Wow.
total, like
And that's with
small,
a and it's with
small,
an that's with an
small,
ARP
small, small,
$15.
small, small, small following. Yeah, very
That is
small,
nothing. Yeah.
very small.
Um. Wow, that is actually shocking. I did not expect that number to be that low.
Yeah,
Um.
very, very small. Most people like, and again, that speaks to the issues with free to play a little bit, but
Yeah.
mostly the problem was the relevance of icons was very limited to people.
Yeah. Because
It
I
was
feel like
only appealed to hardcore players, and it only appealed to hardcore players who are willing to try something new.
yeah, and I feel like you're gonna be like free to play games are gonna be stuck in that scenario unless like I feel like there's 3 steps for what a free to play game has to do to like get to that like monetization land of like we have a lot of users and they're actually spending money, which is like where every single free to game play wants to get to. And I feel like they need to attract users, right? That means people to know about the game and download it, delight users. So you only have one first impression. And if your first impression is a bad one, that's a user that's very, 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 very hard to get back. Um, and then the third one being engage the user. So I like the game. What keeps me coming back? And then if I'm engaged and I'm coming back, I will eventually buy a skin or get something in the game.
Yeah, very simply, the I like to boil things down to their simplest elements, and for video games and free to play video games, it's a very simple formula. It's basically like I will keep playing your game as long as for every incremental hour or dollar I put in, I'm getting more than $1's worth or an hour's worth of
Yeah.
time's worth of entertainment,
Yeah. As
right?
long as it's fun, right?
Yeah,
It's as easy as long
yeah,
as it's
but
fun. I was actually oh sorry, go ahead.
so just what the problem with that formula is that the more hours I put into something, it's hard for me to keep getting an hour of enjoyment from it because the content's growing stale.
Yeah.
I'm getting bored of it. I've solved it. I've figured it out. So you now, as a game designer, have to constantly create, quote unquote, a player progression and new content updates so that you can keep giving people new enjoyment, new experiences perpetually. Um, that's a challenge, especially for free to play games. And I do not believe that anybody should make a free to play game unless they've got a very large budget behind them to do just that. So for my current fighting game that I'm working on right now, we're probably going to launch it. Actually, with inspiration from Slap City, they made a game. They released it at a certain price, and as they added new content to it, they raised that price. And at some point, if we can attract outside financing or whatever, we would then make our game free to play. But until then, we would probably actually be a retailed paid game.
Interesting conversation. That oh, you're back?
I'm back. I guess
Yeah,
I
there you go.
lost you. You lost me.
No worries. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Where did I
All
lose
right.
you guys?
Um, I think you were still talking about you're talking about like that thing of attracting the users to your game and how you need to get that
Yeah,
weekly
so
updates,
basically
like the
it's
Fortnite
super
syndrome.
expensive. It's super
Yeah,
super expensive, and even
yeah,
even Apex Legends messed this up badly
yeah,
because they
and
didn't have that constantly new stuff coming out. Internally, I think that people have an attention span basically of 2 weeks. That's not meant as an insult, but it's meant as like, as a developer, I only have 2 weeks of their attention that I can earn with one hook. And so
yeah,
within that 2 weeks, I have to earn it again to get another 2 weeks.
yeah,
Otherwise, they're all going to leave.
yeah. It's like
And Apex
that's
Legends came out, and within 4 weeks, they had no update, and that's why the player base crashed
yeah,
essentially.
and I think that that's something that Fortnite is really leading the way on, like the concept of the seasons, and every season basically reimagines the game almost. I think that's something that it's kind of stonewalling also the free to play genre into like only the companies that are willing to do this on a weekly way or bi-weekly or monthly will really edge out the competition.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you
think
said.
about like Fortnite, right? Where every single week they can make a new gun, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we talk about how League of Legends characters cost like 50 grand, right? Making
yeah.
a gun probably costs less than 10 grand.
Or a new skin because like
Yeah, or
they're
new,
all the
you know,
same
the new
grade. They all
skins,
move the
right?
same way.
Each
Yeah,
one of those, the skins are actually pretty expensive, but the guns are
yeah,
not.
yeah,
A skin and those cosmetics and stuff that they have, those probably run between $10,000 to $30,000 a pop, but
yeah,
still not that expensive. But
yeah,
they can just churn those things out all day. And for a fighting game, especially a fighting game, what can you add to the game quickly, easily, cheaply that's not gonna like mess it up, right? The trick that League also did was that they did balance changes
yeah.
pretty often, very often. And so they would dramatically change the meta from patch to patch, and that basically kept the game fresh for people, and they'd have to try out new champions.
Do you feel like a solution that free to play games can use to tackle this, like, we need to churn out content is relying on UGC, user generated content? And I ask this because, when Smash Ultimate put out the stage creator, it kind of like reignited the game basically. Everyone came back and was checking the stages, and you get the bot stages and all that kind of stuff. But it went viral. People were creating combo stages, recreating video games, like creating competitive stages, casual stages, minigame stages. I put out a series of the custom stages videos that were getting like 50K views each. Like it really reignited the machine. And it was all riding off the back of user generated content. Nintendo just had to create the engine to create the stages and then just let it run. Do you think that's something that free to play games don't rely on as much as they should? I personally think they don't. Like that's totally like an avenue to create more content. But I want to hear what you think.
Well, Dota does it, right? They've got
Yeah,
their modding tools, and that's why we have, team fight tactics and auto chess. Fortnite has the creator mode and like the creative
mm-hmm.
islands that you can make.
Yeah,
Basically, Riot doesn't do it. And I think that with UGC, you get it basically creates its own little mini universe. And bear
yeah,
with
yeah,
me on an analogy for a second. So basically, you create like this own mini universe. So you've got your major universe of players, right? And then a bunch of them will try out this other universe of whole new content, right? But
yeah,
you as the developer, and by the way, that can be an engine that goes forever, right? Because people can constantly
yeah.
make stuff.
Like think about Minecraft. Like that's
Right,
UGC the
Minecraft,
game.
exactly. But you now, as a developer, have to basically increase that universe's size and constantly add new tools to it so that that stays fresh and that can
Yeah,
continue to grow because it will make its own little pocket universe and it will slowly dwindle. But
yeah.
like,
Unless you
but
keep
it
going back to
will
the well.
dwindle very slowly, but it will still dwindle unless you keep adding stuff to it. So like Mario Maker 2, like basically revives Mario Maker 1 and adds a bunch of new content to it. It's the same idea.
Yeah, because like I think about like I think it's the recent Soul Calibur that has a character creator and how that went viral, and it was kind of like a legitimate marketing campaign, like how all these um create your own characters were going viral online. And
Creating, so that's the thing, that's a big difference by the way, because if I make a character, that's not me making a new game. That's
yeah,
just
yeah, it's
a
like
new
about yeah,
character to
just
try, right? If
UGC,
I
right,
make
of
a
create your own
Mario
character.
Maker level, I made a new level, I made a new experience, I made a new
That's
game,
true.
and it's much more powerful to have, if I had to rank them, character creations like the bottom, right? And
Yeah,
then you've got stage creation, which is pretty good. And then the biggest one is obviously full blown modding, where you can,
yeah.
change
Change the
everything.
rules of the game, basically,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah. Interesting. That's definitely something that I still think that a lot of like up and coming indies are not taking advantage of. And
I mean,
it
Rivals
must be
just
hard.
announced the character creation, right?
Yeah, Steam Workshop, which I think it's definitely gonna boost them a lot. I think that that's
Yeah.
probably that with the Switch port, it's definitely gonna be the boost that they need to really grow.
Mm-hmm.
I had one more thing in mind, but I kind of escapes me right now. Well, another thing that I wanted to ask you is, I don't know if you have any additional thoughts on the process, but on the whole process of putting out a free to play game. But you've mentioned that you're working on something new. What are some of like the main core teachings that you're trying to bring from your icons experience and say like, hey, if anything, these are the three things that I want to make sure that we nail, or maybe you could potentially, if you were to sit down with Dan from Rivals of Either, or any other developer, the developers of Fallout or something that you would probably say, hey, I'm trying to do this. Do you think we're pulling the same page, right?
First of all, I would not tell anybody what I'm doing because then they're gonna copy me. But
Sure,
I think
sure.
that the most important thing is the number one lesson is you have to be different. You have to be unique.
Yeah,
That's the number one lesson. And you look at your title of your YouTube video, "Why Smash Clones Fail." I mean, I said this in my reaction video, but it might as well have been "Why Blank Clones Fail." Like, if you're a clone, why would anyone want to play it? It has to be
right,
different. It has to offer something new. We
right.
talk about that incremental hour of enjoyment, right? If I put in an incremental hour playing Smash, but I'm not playing Smash, I'm playing your game, I'm by default not going to enjoy that as much as I do play Smash. So, because I have
Yeah,
to learn everything else, it's complicated. It's basically the exact same game. It's not offering me anything new. It's
yeah.
not exciting in any way.
Plus, you already spent $60 on Smash,
Yeah, and I
so you
play and I
feel
spent
like,
$60 on Smash. So why would I get this? So
yeah,
it first and foremost has to be different. I think the second thing is you have to figure out like who is it for and what are you trying to accomplish for those people. As you said, you shouldn't make a hardcore game. So when I am working on our game Vortex Rising, I think the most important thing is understanding. Put it very simply, there are two types of people we can make this game for. It's a platform fighting game, so we can make it for
yeah.
people who like Smash, and that's, let's call it 20 million people, right?
Mhm.
And if I want to impress those 20 million people, they're gonna want to see more characters, more content, more IP, which doesn't exist, by the way, right? Smash is the ultimate example of IP in a
Yeah,
single game. They're gonna want more of everything and better of everything, which you can't do, and the bar is very, very high for me to make a game that every single Smash player would be like, yeah, let's go play that, right?
yeah,
Conversely, there are 2 billion gamers around the world, and 2 billion versus 20 million. It's 100 times the audience. And if I
yeah.
ask them, why don't you play Smash? They'd be like, I don't really like Nintendo characters. Okay, fighting games in general are too hard for me. I don't really
Yep.
enjoy them. I like to play co-op games. I like playing League. I like playing Fortnite. I like playing Rocket League. I like playing Minecraft games. I can play collaboratively, cooperatively with my friends. Fighting games don't do that for me. And this is an interesting thing. You had two metrics that you showed in your video of stream viewership, right?
Yep.
Brawlhalla and Smash. And what you saw was that basically this graph that would have these spikes for like tournaments and such, but it was like the super, super low level throughout the year. Every other game doesn't look like that. Every other game,
Yeah.
the baseline isn't down here, it's up here, and you've got these tournament spikes like this. And so the takeaway from data like that is that outside of tournaments, people don't like to stream or watch fighting games. They're boring to watch
Oh,
outside of a tournament.
I would definitely combat that.
It's a controversy.
Like,
Controversy alert. I
so, so,
believe relative to a League of Legends, relative to a Fortnite. Here's the analogy I'll make for Fortnite, right? That I
yeah,
might be able to convince you. So like Fortnite, right? If I'm at the final two, that's like hearts racing, super exciting moment. The final two people of Fortnite duking it out. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
yep, yep,
Right?
yep.
Fighting games are basically Fortnite without the first 98 people. It's
Yep.
just the last two. And if I took Fortnite and I cut out the other 98 people and I just had two people log in, pick up guns, shoot each other, that wouldn't be as intense. It wouldn't be heart racing. It wouldn't be as exciting. And so the thing that I'm trying to solve for is design a fighting game that takes place over a lot longer time period than 5 minutes. Games can
Well,
last like 30 minutes or an hour even.
you know what? I guess. Okay. So I kind of understand what you're saying, and I think I can say like this: if we're only talking about like people don't like to watch just the fighting component of Smash, I would agree because like Smash, there's a lot of eyes of it. There's a lot of people who watch a lot of content of it, but the most popular content for Smash is usually never one player playing another player and just watching the match.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see these videos with
Smash
3, 4
YouTube
million
content
views.
is amazing. YouTube content is
which
great.
is
I'm talking
like,
about Twitch
each character
streaming.
can jump over the pit, and like that literally gets like 5 million views.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with the actual
One-on-one, exactly. But that's the thing. Like a video like that, can Pit make it over this thing? There's like anticipation. There's like, oh shit, will he make it? Will he not make it? Right?
Exactly.
In a 1v1, you're like, all right, whatever. Like he'll just queue up again. Like it doesn't matter. There's no stakes.
Yeah, and it's funny because like when I was making this video, I was originally going to go into like, and this is a game that I think did a great job, and I didn't end up doing that because it felt a little bit contrived and a little bit kind of like I didn't want to think that I was trying to sell out or anything. But one game that I actually felt like did a great job at like reaching out to the casuals and doing this was it's a game that didn't last for too long if they didn't support it, but a game that was kind of like Smash-like, and it did a great job at differentiating itself and being fun was Duck Game. I don't know if you ever played Duck Game. So it's a game literally where you play as a duck. Every character is a duck. You get a random skin when you spawn, and it's a Smash-like game with weapons, kind of like Brawlhalla, but every weapon is overpowered. Like you get one-shotted or two-shotted with any weapon in the game. And the fun thing about it, and what I saw so many people making content about this, is that it was actually really fun to watch because every time you shot someone, the camera would zoom into your character, and you have a dedicated quack button on your controller, and you just mash it, and your dog just goes quack, 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 quack. And that was hilarious in the context of the game. Like, oh, I one shot at you, quack, 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 quack. And those videos were getting like thousands and millions of views. The game sold 2 million copies, and that's like a $12 game. It was actually kind of crazy.
What's funny is I never even heard of it, but like I think that what you're talking about like absolutely like hits the nail on the head in terms of novelty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And novelty is a very dangerous thing for a game creator because what it means is what you're doing just a novelty thing, or can you keep doing that again and again and again and again and again, right? And you see these games now where I've seen like crab battle royale and crab shooting games and crab stab games, and like we're trying to go for these absurd
one with the swords.
Yeah, they're like these absurd novelty games to play. But it's like, can you repeat that, right?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that that's something that definitely Smash-like games have to figure out. It's like, how do I, like you said, differentiate myself enough without like completely falling over and messing it up. But I think that Duck Game, you should look it up, really nailed that. Sadly enough, it wasn't a game deep enough to have a competitive scene or anything like that when everyone's getting one-shotted. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like I always thought, like, why doesn't a Smash-like game have a, I don't know if you've heard of Faster Melee. Faster Melee is a mod where like every character in the game is overpowered. There's no lags, no hits. Everything is broken. It's like, why isn't there a game mode where like every character in the game is like completely overpowered, one stock, and like just crazy stuff happening that could appeal to a lot of people who don't even play Smash. Just a game where every character is overpowered.
My chat just was listening. They said Rivals of Aether has an Abyss mode like that.
Yeah, they do. Oh, there we go. I think that's a great idea. Anyway, thank you so much for joining this chat. I don't know if anyone in any of the chats has any questions that you want to pass along to Chris or I. It's been a pretty interesting discussion.
Can I plug my game real quick?
Plug all your stuff, my dude. Your Twitter, your website. TikTok.
Yeah, I'm Kakovalik on Twitter, CakoValik on Twitter. You can follow me there. I have this blog called Optimistic Harbinger, where I talk about all kinds of stuff, not just video games. I actually have an article coming out about food and like calories and how you can actually eat better or exercise better to lose weight, gain weight, whatever. And then I have the game Vortex Rising. So if you go to vortexrising.com, you can sign up and join our pre-beta because we are playtesting.
Is the beta open to anyone as long as
it's not open, but you have to apply, and
Okay.
I'll let them in if these guys are your viewers. You know, we can let them in. So
Yeah, just put in the comments that you came from Osci and
yeah, there's a long form question about like what you can contribute, and in that answer you can mention this El Scorchy, and I can flag you guys to get in faster.
And you can get into the beta of the new game. Awesome. That I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining. Anything else you'd like to discuss? I know that this kind of conversations might spark something in your head that it's like, oh, I really wish I could talk about this. If there's anything like that, if not, we can kind of wrap it up. But there are some questions here in the chat. I'm sure this is something that gets brought up a lot in this sort of discussions, but is there anything these small games take from long-lasting competitive games like Rainbow Six Siege? Is there any? Are you looking at those kind of games that have like kind of grown competitively more than anything? Because that was a game that didn't really do much casually, but kind of just grew competitively. But I think those are kind of like, you know, the fairy tales of the world. But I don't know if you feel the same way.
What I love about Rainbow Six Siege and also like No Man's Sky is just that they're examples of perseverance. If you just stick to it and you keep iterating and you keep improving, like you'll keep growing your audience, right? And you can you know, each update might not be the one that goes big, but if you keep doing updates, you'll eventually kind of grow and accumulate a following. Warframe is another example of a game that's like never been top of mind for anybody, but like it's continually growing, it's continually getting bigger, and I feel like that's my hopefully base plan for this game, where slowly but surely we'll grow and iterate and improve on what we have. I'm curious about your chat. Like, what do they think is like the wackiest, crazy idea about like what is something that they'd like to see in a fighting game? I talked about co-op stuff. I talked about making the game easier for new players at the very least. I don't want to lower the skill ceiling and make it not deep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe for you personally.
Yeah, if there's anything in the chat that you guys would like to see on one of those things. I think for me, I actually would love to see something that you can show. I wish that these kind of games were better at presenting themselves. I feel like a lot of them present themselves, and like the first scene of gameplay that you see is two characters going at each other in a battlefield stage, and that's like already like doomed to not doomed to fail, but like it's already like, oh, it's Smash Brothers, whatever. I wish like a lot of those games could come up with a better approach of presenting themselves, like because I even looked up like the original Icons Arena trailer and it starts like that. But I wish like going back to duck game where you could show me just a duck one-shotting another duck, the other duck blows up and it just zooms in on it and goes quack 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 quack, and it's like that's our game. Or like, you know, Fortnite is about running around with guns, but suddenly one of them does the floss and the other starts dabbing. Like, you know, like you never, well, you did see it, but like that's the thing, that Fortnite is kind of like ridiculous. So that's personally something that I would like to see, like better positioning from these games, because I feel like a lot of them, even Rivals of either suffers from being positioned as Smash, but you know what I mean? But
yeah, I'm really glad you said that, because I'm really glad you said that. That's really good feedback. The first impression needs to be something new.
Great, and needs to be nothing like Smash, as different as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People in the chat are saying Guilty Gear's trailer. I've never played Guilty Gear games. You can kill me over that. So I have no idea what that talks about. What's referring to. And someone's saying you talk about presentation. You look at that or Bleeding Edge. What is Bleeding Edge? Do you have any idea?
The game?
I guess it is capitalized. I'm assuming it's.
I think it's Bleeding Edge the game.
Yeah. Yes, the game. Well, yeah, I definitely wish presentation was better. Yeah, I think like the moment you start your trailer with two characters in Final Destination or Battlefield just going at each other, it's like, okay, you're gonna wear that Smash crown forever. that melee 4v4 thing. Yeah, Protomon is probably a great person to join your Discord, guys, and I'll tell him to apply because he's always talking about Smash, and he's one of the mods of the channel, and he's pretty good about that kind of stuff. All right, I think
Cool.
that's where I'm personally gonna wrap it up. Once again, vortexrising.com, right? And
Thanks.
yeah, of course, follow Chris on Twitter. If I'll retweet him after this is done, of course. And anything else you'd like to add?
You're in the beta.
Oh yes, I
Yeah, we
am.
should play sometime.
So yeah, I actually um, I redeemed the Steam key earlier today, so I'm excited to check it out. So let's hop on, and if once you're post release and post announcement, we can stream that game and do fun
Yeah,
stuff with it.
if you think it's fun, of course. But yeah, we should play too. So
Yeah, no, I'm completely down. Awesome. All right.
cool.
If this ends up on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel. This has been a pretty cool follow up conversation to our video. And yeah, make sure to stick around for all our stuff like that. And thank you, Chris, for joining us.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for
Have
having
a good
me.
one.
See ya.
All right. Thanks.
Coolio. What'd you guys think of that? Interesting? Engaging? Stimulating? My camera will not turn on now. Now I can't get the camera to go. That's funny. Where is it? I think it might be still on in Discord somehow. There we go. Hey, I'm back. Let me reboot Discord. All right, so let's see what you guys said. Metaphys says, this is why I'm quite particular of the clips we show to investors. Yeah, I'm actually really, really glad that that came up because I don't want this video up here. How do I move this down? There you go. I'm really glad that that came up because I definitely do not. It's changed the way I thought about doing, our first announcement, our first like publicity thing. I think that we should use a GIF of footage of actual team assist rather than just showing base icons or whatever. We should show our actual game and the unique stuff it has to offer. It's funny because like this isn't the first time I've thought that and like quote unquote realize that, and then I'm like, yeah, like when I make something, it's gonna be totally different, and it's gonna the first impression's gonna be totally unique, and it's gonna look totally wacky and totally cool, and then you like have all these things that you're trying to do, and then you kind of forget that stuff, and then someone reminds you again, and you're like, yeah, that's really important. I cannot forget that. I'm laughing at the thought of Scorchy streaming by just playing and having a blank screen with no sound and just his reaction. What happened? His stream wasn't working? What happened to his stream? Was there anything wrong with his stream? Oh, if he was playing but not breaking the NDA, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, if he played on stream, he would be like an empty screen or it's all blurred. It's like going through a fogged glass or whatever, and he's like, "Oh wow, oh my god, that ability was so cool." That'd be pretty funny. All right, let's pull up ye old Discord. Why is this Discord? That's not Discord. Why is it showing my Chrome window? That's annoying. All right, let's fix this. All right, we got Discord up. So, this one, that's Vortex Heaven. It's Vortex Heaven. All right, what's next? More specific on team assist, I'll save that for last. We're gonna fly through some of the other stuff, so I just want to cover it quickly. So Vortex update, the Osci art. We have some feedback from him based on the last stream. He said, instead of a literal story, it's gonna feel like a montage, building up to a showdown. Visuals will just be kind of like the characters, no bots, no ragdolls. And I think I'm pretty excited about this. So, and he says, P.S. Weishan is bald because that was an early rendering before he fixed his twisted neck, he said. So that it wasn't actually the top of his head, that was probably his neck on the top of his head. That his head was upside down or something. But yeah, so that's that. I'm really excited about that coming together. He said he's going to have music to share at the end of the weekend, which will be really exciting. For the Malu concepts, I'm just going to pull these up. Switch to Chrome here. There you go. So for the new stages, by the way, no one told me the first time I did this that my face was covering all this stuff. It was only when I got to the data that you guys were like, oh, your face is covering this stuff. So now I'm like, okay. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So we got some new ideas for Malu. And let me react to you guys. So Milotic Master's asking, is this oscilloscope thing a trailer? It's basically gonna be like a companion piece to when I have the announcement of the game. When we announce Vortex Rising bot icons, we announce the game formally. I want to have that video drop. I think I'll be cool. Loyal says there is more feedback in the Discord, Kako. Oh, feedback from the on the Vortex thing? No, there isn't. What do you mean there's more feedback in the Discord? I don't know what Loyal's saying, but well, we can go. Maybe it means stage feedback. I'll just kind of run through these really quickly. Yeah, okay. On the stages, I'll go to Discord after this. So, what we've got here is he said the stage will be broken down into 3 main terrains, 3 different terrains would each be able to drop into the ocean by themselves. Platforms would stay standing where they were previously, and the platforms would be static. So it's basically the same platforms as Malu today, except that the main terrain would basically fall into the ocean at different times and such. Then he has this idea here where it's like half a Malu, as if you... So he says Malu half stage as opposed to 2 Malus. And he says, well, what's the design goal here? Create moments of chaos, change the stage's layout over time. I think that's pretty cool, especially if they just kind of Malu. Especially if they like, peak at different levels. You can have very mixed up stage. This one is interesting because he says force players to learn how to use their jumps. Creates an interesting off-center gameplay. 2 main terrain objects, 1 stationary, the other moves up and down. It is going to be wider than Malu Malu today. He says each of these halves would be 75%. So we'd have a wider Malu Malu. Interesting. One of the ideas for Malu Malu I had that I wanted to do was, you had base Malu Malu, but then I wanted other Malus off to the side, like with like a full double jump to get there, a la like Yoshi's story in 64 with the clouds way off on the right and left. I wanted to have Malus on either side and expand the stage horizontally so the blast zones aren't that close. Cicero said he hated that idea. That's fine. We don't have to do it. Malu trapdoors. Design goal. Allow players to affect the play space and create interesting combos. The green boxes would drop if a player stands on them for too long. They would then leave a gap, which could be wall jump to recover. If I had to think about like which of these would have the most impact, like he talks about first impressions, right? First impression, you see the stage, it doesn't look like Smash. This looks like Smash. This looks like Smash. This one, if it's like crazy heights and stuff, like that's pretty wacky. I think this one's actually got a lot of potential. The trapdoor one's kind of Smash. I think Malu 3 section, Malu Malu Malu, this one is pretty cool. Which Mario Maker 2 stage? This one? Which one is the Mario Maker 2 stage, Cicero? Oh, okay. All right, let me flip back to Discord here. We'll see the stage reimagination stuff. Would you like community stage suggestions? Yes, I would. Would love that. Loyal says, main thought, they can be camped. Does making the center stage static prevent camping, though? To me, I feel like this increases the campiness. Am I just confused? How does having the center stage static prevent campiness? Ten Dog says it prevents people sitting on the left side and right side. The middle dropping with the others up is the issue. I don't understand. I don't know. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to process this. Loyal says the most important thing to make sure there's no gap in the middle. Metaphysicists think about Pokemon Stadium. Yeah, no, that's the example I have, right? And then you've got the fire stage and the pillar, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna chill on the left side. You can't have high ground, is what you're saying. Interesting. But the thing, so I kind of understand what you're saying. You're saying the middle platform drops down, and then you've got a guy on both sides, and they're both like chilling, waiting for the other guy to hop to them because they don't want to hop. They want to wait for them to hop. But at some point, like their thing is going to drop. So they're going to have to. I'll put it this way. Some campiness can be good. And the reason I say that is it creates anticipation. And it's exciting to watch, right? Where it's like, oh, is he going to jump? Is he going to try to make it? Is he going to do the risky thing? Or is he going to wait? To me, I'm not as concerned about it because also like I'm not as concerned about it because if a stage is too campy, we can make a variation of it that's competitively viable, right? So like Malu can have a variant that's not as campy, I guess. I also think that like changing the pacing and changing the dynamic is interesting, right? Yeah, probably. I mean, we already have a competitive variation of every stage already, right? So maybe these are just the casual ones. But this is a really important thing to think about, right? Like how campy is it? Like how campy is it for how long is it? Um, yeah, I mean, look, I think having a 3-section Malu, depending on how long it is and how the stages randomly go, will not be too frustrating. Right. Mm-hmm. The thing about So Cicero, did you say that you hated my Malu Malu idea, where you had other Malus off to the side? Because it basically just expands the horizontal blast zones, and it's called Crystal Crush, guys. Keep calling it Candy Crush. Okay. I don't know why you would hate it. I don't know why anybody would hate it. It just changed the gameplay such that blast zones are further out, and if you survive, you now have um another like platform to quote unquote land on. Um, Potentially. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hazard gap might be possible to mitigate by using a trapdoor idea, making the platform the main stage, essentially. If you stand on one of the sides for too long, it drops into the blast zone. Hmm. Malu trapdoors. I'm reading this one right now. Interesting. All right, let's look at your guys' stages. Guys, how is this not campy? I can sit on this platform. If someone's here, I have the high ground. I don't understand what's wrong. Like, why is this bad? Why was my idea? My idea is basically the same thing as this. So how is that any different? Oh shit. Okay, I'll help you. This one. Platforms on the side. Wait, what do you mean? These platforms go all the way off the edge of the screen? They stand on the outside platforms, they go away eventually. So these platforms will go all the way off the edge of the screen eventually. Okay. So then if it flies off the screen, another one comes out. I think that's pretty sick, actually. If you can, like, rapid fire these. So, if you rapid fire these, so, like, you've got two of them out at one time on each side, that'd be pretty sick, actually. That'd be pretty sick. For this thing, the platform on the middle, I feel like it should have a hazard on the bottom of it. That could be cool. Where, like, depending on where it's going, you also have a hazard underneath it. I like these ideas are good, guys. Thanks for sharing this. Terminal. A simple stage with no blast zones, but damaging killing hazards. Look, you guys don't like my health bar, but you literally put health bar into this stage. What's wrong with you guys? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, this is cool. I like that. No blast zones. No blast zones. Interesting. I wasn't kidding. I'm like, come on, guys. You're like, you hate blast zones. You hate health bars unless you came up with health bars. This is interesting. I think that we have to choose what these hazards look like so that they're really interesting. That's so funny. I'd do that. You touch the crab, he kills you. You should literally just make him move so slow, but if he touches you, it's like 80%. Like, super dangerous. He's just like slowly tiptoeing around. You know how, like, there's that Reddit post, which is like, I'll give you $1 million, but there's a snail that's unstoppable, and if he touches you, you die? That's basically what I think about with this. So Stabby just literally walks towards whoever is the closest person super slowly, and if he touches you, he just kills you. That'd be fucking hilarious. I like that. I hope Llama Juice is watching this. I'll see what we can do. This one's doable. I think this is cool. If this is the one that you guys like, then we can do this one. I mean, I think the stabby one was the most exciting one for everybody, but like putting an actual stab crab in there is going to be time consuming and expensive. What we can do instead, do we have a stab crab sticker? We have a stab crab model on a token. Okay. We'll just put him in, I guess, and have him just like T-pose around the stage. And if he touches you, you die. We'll put stab crab in as like but we'll like literally make him a T-posing crab. We'll adjust his model so he's got two of his arms out like a T-pose. And then if he touches you, he kills you. Okay. I think we can do, maybe we can do all of these. I don't know if to ask Llama Juice. Safety first. I also want to have a moving hazard on this one too. You can have him there. Okay. Nice job, guys. Let's see. Switch back over to this bad boy. No, we did not do this yet, but we will. Okay. So let's talk about the character really quickly. I wanted to fly through the stage stuff. We actually took a lot of time on that, but let's do the character thing really quickly. So you guys have some feedback, which is basically like, look, Ritzler summarized it. He said, you know, I honestly figured when I first did the community involvement for the art team would pitch us a bunch of stuff and we would vote or give feedback and then they'd filter it, not this whole design purely by community stuff. So, like, he's not wrong. I mean, this is what we're going to do. It's just the timeline is stretched out, right? So, like, it takes us a while to make this stuff. And work on it even. Like right now, nobody's working on the Star Child 3D model. Just have to find somebody and then hire them and then have them work on it and then get your feedback on it. For the purpose of bringing this up, like when we had Star Child, everyone was like, whoa, Star Child was freaking awesome. I feel like Eel Monk Ashani was pretty much on that same bar, actually. So, you know, maybe it is kind of redundant to have everyone reimagine the Eel Monk Ashani. Everyone kind of likes her. But we can come up, basically want to get a similar level of excitement around the different characters that we had about Star Child. And I can ask Keenan to do a Monk Ashani. I can do that. For Weishan, on animation stuff, this is just some polish we'll have to do. Is have all of the... Yes, we actually discussed every character already. But I want to go over them again. And see what other ideas we can come up with. As far as animation goes... Weishan's side strike, F strike, where he's like in the air and jumping as he's charging that. That's pretty much what I want for all the charging moves, where they've got that kind of wind up while they're charging. I also want to give everybody kind of the swipes and attack trails that Weishan has, because I think that they need them. And that's some polish you want to do. Swipes and trails would be great, yeah. Like, I want to do these for the attacks that have, like, really, really... Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, at Metafist, pretty much. Pretty much the plan. We'll see if I can do a couple of good ones. You know, for Ashani, for Zoo. But it's like coming up with some really unique ones, and maybe it's her F strike. I think that the strikes at a minimum, and a couple key aerials, the killing ones particularly, need to have the VFX on them. Some better swipes and attack trails. Okay, let's so on the the subject of like the re-imaginations of the characters, you know, maybe we can say, look, you guys are super happy. Yeah, El Scorchy, great suggestion. Game mode where stages start crumbling down. That's basically one of the ideas we actually pulled up. I'll bring it back just to show you. Not this one. This guy. So they kind of move up and down. Anyway, for the character reimagination stuff, it feels like you guys think that Ashani's in a really good spot. That's fine. That's fair. So, like, just let me know, like, which character that we reimagine that you guys think we need more time on, and we don't have something really exciting out. To me, I feel like Zana was pretty weak. Afigalu, Zhurong. I didn't think that we had really good examples for those on a Eel Ashani or... Yeah. So maybe we graduate from Ashani and we move on. I mean, that's basically, I only wanted 2 days on each anyway, so that's totally fine. So... Cool. At El Scorch, if you're still here, it was really, really helpful for you to say, like, you don't want the first impression to be basic, right? Like, it needs to look totally different. And so I think, like, having our team assist co-op game mode with 3v3 looking wacky and crazy, all that stuff we want. And I think the stage itself needs to be unique, and we need it to be one of these crazy stages. Something more fun. Absolutely. I had a stage concept. I asked Pi to do. Hopefully it's pinned. Look, Loyal has some other documents here. Switching over, 1 second. The OG Crystal Crush. Who made this one? Looks like a King of the Hill one. Malu Station. Where's Pie's stuff? Pie had more stuff. Here, this. Can you guys see that? I wanted a stage like this to be like the first impression. You got the tower in the background, this crazy looking stage. That's super different. But it's campy, I guess. It's like a zoomed in Pokemon Stadium fire transformation. This layout. Just looking at your chat. Will be interesting. See if we can do this stage maybe. It's a good first impression stage, but it's not a easy one to make. Okay. Moving back to Discord again. Back bouncing around a bit. Talked about Malu Malu, talked about the Osci stuff, talked about the characters. All right, team assist. Let's do it. Back to this. So, these are some important things I want to have done before we start growing the Discord, basically. So for context, I'll just put it at the top here. Fixes before we start meaningfully adding people to Discord. And I don't think we're very far away. You know, we've got Ashani's assist. I think should be smaller VFX. Takes over the whole screen. SFX should be quieter. Wei Shan's assist should not have a sour spot. Gushiel assist should be increased by 2 seconds because we don't want it where if you know someone's timing, you can just keep gust shielding their stuff. You know, if you're going to gust, it's going to... you're not going to be able to do it every time. For 3v3 team assist tuning, I said that just all cooldown should be increased by 50%. We'll start with that. We'll see how it goes. Other team assist changes, I think on the character select screen, we can indicate who's the point person first. On name tag clarity, and this is kind of a, put this in brackets, lower priority. It's not that important. Name tag clarity is super important though. in my opinion. So I want your name to always be gold. That was a League of Legends inspired Metaphys suggestion. The assist tag should not appear. Or they only appear for your team, which I think is a good idea because then it's like, hey, someone appears with a name tag, you know it's your teammate. And you don't have to worry about, who it is, basically. But 2v1 name tag should appear. So if the enemy appears, it's still them. And I think also the name tags, should basically be more colorful. So it's more clear if it's a blue name tag or a red name tag. For 2v1s, this is a way to fix the Afi and Galu issue. You appear on an angel platform rather than jumping in like from the side. And then the idea we had was if you don't drop, you will refund your 2v1. I think that'd be a cool idea. The dash attack stuff, or dash dancing, I've got that right here for all characters. This is a question. Kids assist, switch his assist to his side special. Don't know how you guys feel about that. I actually love using his assist as is, but, if you guys have opinions on it, it's not beginner friendly. Kids assist, but it's pretty awesome when you learn how to use it. I'd like for the error sound effects to not play for all people. His assist currently is he uses his shine, but it's a fixed distance ahead of him. Cicero says, hold to charge goat side special assist. Yeah, I mean, that's how it would work. If we did it, we would do it that way, where you can hold it and it would charge for longer. And it could be a straight up bullet. You can shoot kid on like a kamikaze across the whole stage. All right. Metaphys got me with the it's not cooperative and it doesn't do diverse options. So it's not reactable. Yeah. I'm very good with that. Very good with that. So maybe we can switch this to his side special. For the controls, this is a very big thing and it confuses the shit out of everybody. It should show whatever your actual inputs are for those. And if you don't have it bound, it should say, like, not bound. I don't know if we should let you not bind those, even. Maybe we have a check. Yeah, exactly. Cooldown timer. I want to have a cooldown timer, which could be the same as the 2v1 timer. And so you click a button, and then it will just have a little timer next to it. And if they try to push an assist button that's on cooldown, like, it'll glow and be like, we're still on a timer. something to experiment with is increasing the cooldown significantly, but uncoupling their cooldowns. It actually used to be this way, and it was a lot more chaotic, actually. So I'm actually not very excited about this, to be honest, because it used to be this way, and we quote unquote fixed it by making them global cooldowns. It was very, very chaotic, like this. And then just like attack any should trigger the assist button. And, you know, jumping on keyboard should trigger that shield. Peter Fox, you should give me a DM me about what we need to do there, and I'll make sure that we do. Please. Attack with any button. Don't know what I think about that. Well, why don't I show you guys this? This is the latest messages for our Discord community. Starting Saturday, September 14th, Sunday, and then Monday. Tuesday, I don't know what we'll have. I imagine it's going to be lower messages than Monday. But I'm going to start sharing weekly data with the community. And we'll be able to talk about that every Monday. Hey, like, how's our Discord's health? Am I doing everything I can to promote the Discord's health and get it to where we need to be? So, I think that's interesting. Voice stuff, also interesting. How much time we spend on voice. This basically always goes up when Metafist does his stream and he's in voice chat. So we want to try to get this consistently growing as well, with hopefully more members in voice chat. So, and then let's see, who are our top messengers? Scarfy, Metafist, Nintendogs, Loyal, Ritzler, Pracies. You guys are our top messengers right now. Nice job, guys. Any other questions for me before I end today's stream? Any other suggestions for things that we should fix in the game before we start growing our Discord community again? On Team Assist, yeah. I got that. Need any attack to trigger an assist, absolutely. I'm happy. I love moonwalking. I love this zoo super dashing. I don't I don't want to kill those things. Keep them in the game. As long as it doesn't yeah, break things. In my opinion, if something really unique comes out that you guys come up with and it's like horrifyingly game breaking, what we would do is try to de-teeth it so that it's still in the game, but it's just not game breaking. Big banana glitch is when you're jumping and you like time it and it will instantly big banana. Yeah. That one is not a intended one. The double B reverse, what I would want to do is actually allow all characters who have a charging thing to be able to use it. So right now, Kid can't do it with his side special. You know, I'm not sure why certain characters can do it. It's not might not be an easy thing for us to just implement, but I really like the double B reversing, and let's see if we can get more characters to have that. I'll make a note of that in my doc. Attack assist still has problems with rising dare as well as up air triggering when they're too far away on the x-axis. All right, well, let's talk about attack assist really quick. Rising dares and then up air triggering when too far away. That's interesting. Okay. I do have something else that we can do together here while we're all here, which is a quick brainstorm for what the onboarding video should be. Like, what do you guys think if I invite someone to the Discord? What is the most important information? I think it is installing the game. So that's basically like, hey, Steam code, beta code, and what do they do? What are the different beta codes? I think that the next most important thing is understanding the privacy stuff, revealing the game. Let's see. Is there anything else that's like super important to teach people when they first come in here? Oh, you know, basically that we've got like nightly play sessions with Metafist and testing, which is super important. Output logs, yep. That's probably a separate video, to be completely honest. Output logs. And I don't even think that needs to be a video, just like a quick how-to. And that can be a document. Okay, and then separately I want to have a quick tutorial video on how to actually play. And then separately a video on what makes Vortex Rising special. So this is like a video on like introducing noobs. And this is a video for like more advanced people. A description of feedback. Yeah. Feedback guidelines. Pros and cons, baby. Nope, yin and yang's still there. I just put pros and cons so y'all knew what I was talking about. It's definitely going to be yin and yang. A tutorial on how to play. Quick script on this is that it's basically going to go movement or controls, I think are the most important thing. Control settings first and foremost. Movement, attacking with attack assist. And then shielding and grabbing. And then last but not least, how team assist works. I think that's it. And that's that one. And then for what makes Vortex Rising special, we basically start with team assist. I'm trying to think, like, how would that actually be structured? You could do a whole video on team assist, basically. Win condition. Early beard gets the worm. Let me think here. I think that we would also talk about health bars on this. We're gonna have that in there. I think version 1 of this will just be like we cap percent at whatever it is, 180, and then it kills you afterwards. That's like version 1 of that. We got health bars. We got team assist. We've got... we can talk about gauntlet. Oh god, we need a gauntlet video. So this will be that. Percent limit. And then I've got like fun stuff. How to moonwalk. And zoo super dashing. I don't know. Whatever you guys think should go in there, maybe. This is what I'm trying to work on tomorrow. These videos. Question mark. Solo assist is a thing. It is a thing. So on this guy, if we want to have solo assist, I want it to be that neutral equals a neutral press equals character ability. And then like a down press equals gust shield. And then we can at least trigger gust shield as well. And then maybe if you wanted to, you can do an up press for 2v1. Side press. 2v1. Shield and then trigger. Because you can use gust shield in the air with solo assist. The assist can be acted out of any state, whereas gust shield cannot. So that's the big difference. Cool. Who wants to play? That's my next question. Who wants to play? All right, Metafist. Set up a lobby. I'm going to go get a drink, and I will meet you guys there. We'll play some team assist. What build are we going to use, Metafist? Experimental? I'm asking. I'm not dictating. Experimental? Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good. I will see you guys online on experimental. And then we'll move to latest after we get whatever data Metafist says we need. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. This was a long one. We went quite a while. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the interview. I didn't do this last time, and I forgot, and I was beating myself up about it. But how do you guys think I did um, this time around? Like, how would you rate me reacting to chat? Like, let's do chat first. Like, was I doing good chat interaction? 1 through 5. What do you guys think? Yeah, but not all of it was an interview, right? Okay. Thank you. How do you guys think I did for helping you guys learn something about the game? Do you feel like this was helpful? Did you learn something about the Vortex Rising development process? What's going on from this chat? Like again, 1 through 5. How informative was this for you in Vortex Rising? What was the quality of the information? High quality, low quality? Did you learn a lot? Did you not? Okay. I want to get at least 4s on these. Like, I want you guys to feel like tuning into these streams, you guys learn stuff. Either about the game or. Now, I don't mean learning as in, like, oh, like I learned something, cool or helpful, but just I now have a better understanding of what Vortex Rising is and what their goals are, etc. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not a lot. Cool. Overall, what'd you guys think about the stream? Then this is the last one, last question. Sorry to guys make you guys keep doing this. Last score one. Then I have 2 other questions actually. So just overall, what'd you guys think? Um, Actually, I feel like we could skip that one, but you guys probably already started. I guess the next one is kind of like the survey. What do you guys think I should do more of? What do you guys think I should do less of? On these streams specifically. What should I do more of on the streams? What should I do less of on the streams? Yeah, Cicero, there were a couple moments where I just didn't really understand what you guys were talking about with respect to like the campiness of certain stages, but we got there. Um, I didn't think that was particularly bad. Yes, I will open your workflowy at one point. I'll have to prep first with you and make sure we're on the same page. Community content, yeah. I mean, you guys saw the feedback from the survey yesterday, right? Like everybody was saying, do this more, do this more. Um, so here we are. I want to do it daily. What kind of stuff should I do less now? I think you guys talked about doing more stuff, but what do you think I should do less? Is there anything any habits, any Things I'm doing that are annoying you guys. Just waiting for your answers to come in here. Yeah, I mean, he didn't tell me what he was gonna ask me. He just said yesterday, "Hey, would you want to be on an interview today?" And I was like, "Sure." I already have talking points, so I wrote the blog post. I've talked about icons failing like a million times to a million different people, so it's not like it's a topic I'm not well versed on. Um, but I thought it went well. If anything, maybe I didn't let him talk more and like riff with him more, but I'm pretty happy with it. Cool. Well, thank you guys for the feedback. Thank you for watching. With that, I think I'll end it now. Let Metafist pick up. I need to get some water, chill for a minute, and then I will be online and we can all play Team Assist, which will be awesome. I don't mind. We spent 2 hours, 2.5 hours today. An hour was on the interview, and then 90 minutes. I can do 90 minutes every day. That's fine. So, at least I say that now, but I feel like 90 minutes a day is not that bad to stream. I mean, actual streamers stream like 8 hours a day, right? So I can do 90 minutes. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be joining Metafist in a bit. Please join him. See you guys soon.